too happy about being in there. Beautiful animal. He's definitely fattening up for the winter. His coat's thickened up. He just does fit in the cage. You can tell he's done happy about being in there. Let me see that beautiful tail. Yeah. All them rings. I think he likes the fuzzball on my mic. He's a little ferocious for you. Hello and welcome to the Black Hat Bushcraft channel. This afternoon I'm out on my trap line and just doing a little maintenance. I came out earlier today and we only had one animal in a trap, and that was a raccoon, which you'll see footage of. Right now I currently have 7 traps set, and I'm hoping that in the next couple of days I'll total that out at 10, which I don't have a huge area. I'm trapping on about 30 acres right now roughly, and so obviously for me it doesn't make sense to have so many traps on that small piece of land. However, all the traps that I'm using right now are cages, and I have different size cages depending on what animal I'm targeting. Of course, with those different cages, I bait them or lure them in different ways. I do have one bobcat specific trap, which is a cage, and I currently have it set with bobcat Gland Lure, and I also use some bobcat urine around the trap. I have a flag set so that it can be seen from a distance, which is a couple of turkey feathers, and I have a little tinsel on that too. I don't know how effective that is, but it can't hurt, I'm hoping. Anyway, we're hoping for some luck before the season's out with the bobcat. I also have one big cage trap, which I have right now currently set up for red fox. We do have a good amount of red foxes in this area. I know that's a challenge to get a fox to go into a cage style trap like that, but I'm hoping for it. And that one I also have set up with fox Gland Lure and fox urine, which is spread around. I did also put a little bit of fish oil there as a bait. I may get a raccoon in that set as possible, but anyway, hopefully we'll get a fox before it's over with. The rest of my cage traps are perfect for raccoons and possums, and right now I'm running about 50-50 with raccoons and possums. However, I did something interesting recently. I switched over from fish oil and cat food to maple syrup and marshmallows, and every catch that I've had on the maple syrup and marshmallows has been raccoons. So that's kind of a way I figured to filter out the possums. Obviously, for a food purpose, possum makes a really good catch, but I'm just kind of more set on catching the raccoons for fun. So with all that said, what I wanted to do today was take just a few minutes to go over my trapping pack, or trapping basket if you will, and talk about the contents and the equipment that I'm using running this trap line on a daily basis. Let's get started. All right, so as you can see, my trapping pack is simply a plastic garbage can, which came from my local department store, and I've just rigged that up onto a traditional US Alice pack frame, and I already had the pack frame in storage. What I did was I poked some holes down here at the bottom and just ran some zip ties through and zip tied that thing to the frame on both sides, and up here in the center point I also have a zip tie. You can see I have a toggle there, and sometimes I'll use that to hang my gloves or extra cordage or whatever I need to. I haven't been using it a whole lot this year. And then I also have this Sea to Summit compression strap here, which is really unnecessary because up at the top I've rigged up like a trucker's hitch with some paracord and kind of semi-permanently attached that thing to hold the top of the pack. And with these trash cans you have a little bit of a kind of a rib right there, and so it just binds right up against that. This is just for added security, I guess. It's probably overkill, but that's it. It's a very simple, cost-effective system, and it works great. And the nice thing about having a plastic trash can is if you get fish oil or things like that, lures can be really smelly, urine and things like that you're carrying in these packs. If it spills out or gets in the pack, instead of getting all soaked up into a canvas pack or something like that, you have a plastic trash can. You can rinse this thing out with soap and water and it's good to go. And for the little cover here, this is a piece of canvas, and I just kind of hand sewed that with some shot cord. And over here I use like a cord lock, as you can see, and it just goes around the rib of that trash can, and I can cinch it down. Again, everything done by hand, so it's not perfect, but it works really well. You just pull those bungee cords up over the edges of that, and that cinches right in place like that. Keeps everything intact and doesn't let my stuff fall out. So again, cost effective, simple, really usable system. All right, so now that we've taken a look at the pack itself, let's take a look at the contents. And over the last couple years of doing this cage trap line, these are the things I found that I need most. First of all, I have in here a big Tupperware container of cat food. So I always keep that full, at least half full of cat food that I can use for my sets. And I usually have in here a little salad dressing bottle with fish oil. I'm actually out of fish oil right now. I've got some on order. Should be to me in the next couple of days, so that's not in here. But normally I just put the fish oil in here and then fill the rest of the container up with cat food, and I have everything I need to do those sets with that. The second thing I have in here is a big bottle of maple syrup, or table syrup I should say. It's not really much maple to it, but nonetheless the raccoons seem to be drawn to it. It seems to be working. The other thing I have in here is, I mentioned, a bag of marshmallows. So marshmallows and the maple syrup go together, and the fish oil and the cat food go together, and that's how I've been using them. I also carry some spare Ziploc bags. Whenever you're dealing with fish oil and baits and lures and stuff, sometimes it's good to have an extra bag just in case. And in one of those bags to keep dry, I have a change of batteries for my trail cams, and both of mine use 8 AA batteries. Prior to this video, I just actually changed one out that apparently went dead last night, so that's why there's no batteries in here. I always carry my Bandana, or cotton cloth bandana. This one is from Opossum Pouch, J. Hercules, but I always have that in here. And actually I carried my camera wrapped up in this one today just to protect it. But I carry one of these in every pack that I go out with. Of course, cell phone. This is actually a really important part of the trapping kit because I have to take pictures of every animal I trap. And at the same time, I use this to read the SD cards in my trail cams, which I'll talk about in a minute. And of course, anytime I go into woods, I'm always going to carry with me some type of a folding saw. And this is my Silky Pocket Boy. This is the Outback edition. And this little saw will easily fit into my cargo pocket, and it will do about 95% of everything that I need to do as far as sawing something in the woods. Just a fabulous little saw and the perfect one for my trapping kit. I carry a little handmade wooden mallet. When I set up my cage traps, I like to cut a couple of stakes, natural material, and just drive those in the ground to help prevent my traps from falling over. I have had that happen in last year, in the last season, when I would just put the trap there and the animal would rock it and make it turn over. So this way I brace it on each side. This just makes it easy to drive that in the ground. It doesn't weigh very much. And it's better than having to dig around on site and look for something to hammer with. I carry a pair of leather gloves, which I can use if I want to handle an animal. It's good to have that on, like an opossum, or if I'm digging up material to cover my traps, debris to go over my traps. A lot of times there's briars and things like that. It makes sense to put these gloves on just to save your hands. And I do it about half the time, and then I get mad at myself when I get a thorn in my finger. I do have one extra can of sardines in here, so I normally have a couple of cans just in case I want to use that in a trap. And when I'm handling traps, for example, the fox and the bobcat trap, I know that their sense of smell is really strong and they're very picky animals. So sometimes I'll use these vinyl gloves when I'm handling those traps just to try to keep my scent off. I don't know that it makes a difference, but it doesn't hurt. In here I have a Ziploc bag that has my Gland Lures in it. And so this is just a cheap cotton zipper pouch. And in here I have some different things, which I'll give you a close-up of. I have a little Ziploc bag that has little makeup face pads, cotton balls, and Q-tips. And a lot of times when I'm digging that gland lure out of the jar, I'll use a Q-tip, or if I'm using like urine, which I'll show you here in a minute, I'll just pour it on one of these pads or dab it on a cotton ball and throw it up in the trap, or I'll pour it around the trap depending on how I'm doing the set. But I just have some different gland lures and little jars in here. The stuff stinks, so I keep it in its own bag and then inside of a Ziploc bag on top of that. Anytime I go into the woods, I always like to carry with me at least 32 ounces of drinking water. And almost always, I'm going to carry that in my 32-ounce Pathfinder stainless water bottle. Although I have been on occasion guilty of grabbing a couple of 16-ounce plastic bottles just for simplicity on the trap line. But going in the woods, it's good to have a container that you can boil, and of course, many other functions as well. So 32-ounce Pathfinder water bottle goes in my trapping pack. I also have, this is the last thing in here, just a zipper pouch. These are easy to come by at your local department store. And in here I have all my kind of odds and ends, kind of like my possibles pouch. I have a couple of pieces of paracord, probably 8 to 10 feet in length. They come in handy for all kinds of purposes. I have spare brass trap tags in case one of my tags comes off. I already have these imprinted with my number on them, my trapper ID number, so I can attach in case I lose one. And I have had animals chew the tag off from the trap and find my trap tag all torn up inside the trap, so I can replace it as needed. I do have a Wazoo Survival Track bandana and a little slap bracelet. This thing's really cool because I can use it when I see tracks out in the field. I can measure them and then I can compare them to the tracks that are on this bandana. Again, I'll give you a close-up of all this stuff, but that's a super cool little system and I keep it in my trapping bag. Wazoo Survival, again, is the maker of that. I do have an emergency tech kit, which is just some wipes, lens cleaner, and things like that for my camera, because a lot of times when I'm on the trap line, obviously I'm filming or taking pictures at least. I have a 1-inch roll of Gorilla Tape, so about half full, and I use it for all kinds of purposes out here. And of course I have it as a backup first aid device. I have some orange flagging tape whenever I put a cage up, just so I don't forget, and I never have had that be an issue, but I'll put a little piece of orange flagging tape there just in case. And also I have an emergency ferro rod. Always have to think about fire, and I always have a lighter in my pocket. So just in case I were out here and needed to light a fire for some reason, it's good to have that in there. And the last thing I have is this little SD card reader. So when I get to my trail cams, I can pull the SD card out, put it in this, plug this into my cell phone, and then I can see what photos were taken overnight. And this one is made by Wild Game. I'll give you a close-up of it. Seems to work pretty good. It's a little fiddly getting it plugged into my phone, but it does work well, and it allows me to see in the field the pictures on my SD card without having to take those SD cards home. So instead of swapping out SD cards, I'll pull out my phone, check them, put it right back in, and keep on trucking. And that's it. That's really what I carry with me on the trap line. That's everything that I found that I need regularly. Of course, I always have a belt knife, and I also like to carry my Swiss Champ multi-tool here, SAK. So that thing comes in handy for all kinds of purposes. I like this particular one because it has a little set of pliers, toothpick, tweezers, pretty much every tool you can think of, even a magnifying glass that will ignite char. So you have everything you need. I just keep it in this Victorinox pouch, and I have it rigged up with this locking carabiner. This one does lock in place, so it can't come undone. And if I'm not already carrying on my belt, when I get to the trap line, I'll just hook it to my belt loop, and it's right there where I need it. I always carry some type of a sidearm, which you saw I had one there. And 9 times out of 10, I'm carrying a Ruger Wrangler 22 single action. Sometimes I'll carry the single 6. And sometimes I'll carry another, like a defensive type sidearm, but almost always it's a 22 in case I choose to dispatch an animal on the trap line. And that's it. Very simple kit, everything that I need, and no extra fluff. All right, so here's everything that we've taken a look at, packed away in my basket. As you can see, there's plenty of room left. If I want to add in like a bush pot and some extra water, maybe dehydrated meal for the day for lunch or dinner, I can easily fit any of that extra stuff in there. If I want to add in my titanium shovel and axe, there's room for any of those items to go into this kit. So again, that's everything we've looked at, packed away with ample space, with the Alice Pack frame that carries comfortable, and it makes for me the perfect trapping kit. Just in case you guys are interested, I do have some of my affiliate links in the description box down below this video to my Amazon influencer page, to my Self-Reliance Outfitters affiliate page, and so forth. If you guys are interested in looking for gear, things that I personally use and recommend based on my experience out here in the woods, feel free to click on those links down below, and just know that anytime you use those, you are supporting me and the channel, and I greatly appreciate any of that support. So go check out those links if you're interested, and let me know if you have questions. All right, so I want to thank you guys for taking the time to tune in for this look at my trapping kit and a few scenes here from the trap line. And I am aware that this is something that does not appeal to all of my viewers, but I hope you guys will bear with me. Trapping season only comes around once a year, and I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm really learning a lot through this process. And I know that my means are a little unorthodox, but I will do a video very soon where I explain the method to my madness and the reason that I'm choosing to do things the way that I do. I have had a lot of luck here on the line in just a short period of time, and this is my second year, and these methods tend to be working for me. So once again, thank you guys for your time, interest, and support. If you like this video, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Please leave me a comment down below. I read all my comments and I reply as time allows. And of course, if you are not a subscriber of the channel, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Make sure to ring that bell, and that way you can stay notified of all the upcoming videos, and many will be coming again soon. Thank you guys, take care, be safe, and as always, God bless.